Hey there guys, glad to see you all back on the channel. So, are you excited for yet another SIDUS Heroes video? So, our regular viewers noticed that we've launched a series of guides exploring the very basic things to help newcomers write their success story in the game. Let me be a bit inconsistent for this time, as I'd like to speak more about the recent addition to the metaverse, and it's called the gadgets. Of course, don't forget to leave your feedback in the comments down below if you want more details on particular SIDUS Heroes topic. And of course, slap like and subscribe to the channel, and let's roll that. So, while SIDUS Heroes prepares for more crucial updates like including massive marketing campaign, the arrival of guilds, and other improvements, I'd like to talk about gadgets, so new items in the game that boost your hero's abilities. Gadgets were exclusively introduced to players during the store module launch. The first batch was only available via drop boxes, and well, there is no other way to obtain gadgets so far. Hopefully the situation will change over time when the marketplace is launched. So what are these things? Gadgets simply are additional in-game items that grant the owner extra abilities or intensify their existing ones. These are known as passive gadgets. Visually, they look like rings or bracelets, but you cannot see them inside the game, only in your inventory. So far, there are 3 types of gadgets to boost your hero stats. So, Freshman, Catalyst, and Attribute upgrades. So let's start off with Freshman. Freshman is a race-based gadget that only works for the corresponding race. If your gadget is incompatible with your hero's race, you will not be able to use it. Freshman is only legendary item available so far because it adds energy points to your character, which is, believe me, a significant game benefit. Yeah, speaking about benefits, so when your hero puts on Freshman, they receive 2 energy points instead of just 1 and 5 more extra attack points at the start of the battle. Just imagine the advantage you get if each your hero has a Freshman. For example, you can use the railgun on your just first very turn. Just huge. As you already could guess, there are 3 types of Freshman gadgets. So, Freshman OG for Ogya, Freshman VO for Voltron, and respectively Freshman RP for Raptorian. Unlike other gadgets, Freshman has no tiers and always adds a fixed number of points. So if you're lucky enough to get your Freshman, just prefer it to any other gadget. Well, do my words degrade other items? Well, I'd say of course not. They're still badass, but in a different way. Next, let's go to Catalysts. Catalysts aggravate the damage from a thermal, hydro, electric, or bleeding attacks, or the hero's race-based ability, depending on the gadget. So, Thermal Catalyst increases damage of thermal attacks, Hydro Catalyst increases damage of hydro attacks, and so on. So, Bleeding Catalyst, Electric Catalyst, it all just simply increases the damage of the corresponding element. Simply, it works in the same way as with Freshman. So your hero puts on the gadget in the lobby, then enters the battle, and when they use an elemental weapon or his race-based ability, the corresponding gadget adds to the impact, and all extra modifiers are applied to the total damage level. This all means that your attacks will deal significantly bigger damage than previously. And of course, the same thing goes for healing and shielding your allies. Attribute upgrades gadget give a fixed number of points to 1 or 4 attributes, so Vitality, Agility, Attack, and Defense. The points are added once the gadget is worn. Well, you should not be a genius to understand what gadgets boost what attribute. It works the same way as with other items in this video. That is why our final point here for this guide will be gadgets tiers. Gadgets bring a certain number of points depending on their tier. As you can see in the top, Thermal, Hydra, and Electric Catalysts add 10, 15, or 20 damage to the corresponding attacks, when Bleeding Catalyst adds only 3, 4, or 5 damage. But you should remember that the only way to use a kinetic attack is Railgun, and Bleeding lasts for 3 rounds. Count the overall damage by yourself. For Attribute Upgrades gadget, effects are equal, so 1, 2, or 3 points to some of your hero stats. And as I said before, there are no tiers for freshmen. And once obtained, your gadgets appear in your hero's equipment screen on the left-hand side. You'll see the changes that the equipped hero's gadget makes. The points that gadgets add are displayed in the bright green number next to your main points. Click on the gadget button and pick the gadget you want to learn more about it simply. There's an additional button for gadgets in the inventory, so feel free to discover it. Okay, so let's take a look at a few examples of the effective use of gadgets. The first thing that comes to my mind is Railgun combined with Kinetic Catalyst. If your gadget is tier 3, you will get 5 more damage to kinetic attack, which means bleeding will deal 5 more points each round. Well, personally, I love using the Agility Accelerator. Despite the new skills and changes in the game balance, the first move is still very important. So it grants you 3 more extra points in agility that allows you to get an early advantage and also ignore this parameter when spending skill points. And lastly, this is more likely not a tactic move but just an advice here. So if you're using Catalyst, don't forget that you need to trigger the effect with an appropriate type of impact. This will allow you to achieve maximum damage. Alright you guys, that was it. So the gadgets guide turned out to be a pretty short one. I don't think I should give you more detailed tips on this one because, well, after all, it's not that simple to get gadgets. The second reason is there are too many combinations and specific situations that require a specific gadget. So in my opinion, the basic rule, the more the better, works pretty perfect here. In general, this is all you need to know about gadgets. So if I missed something, you can always address me personally in the comments down below what your questions are and what your requests. So I'll be glad to answer them personally. So thanks for watching again. See you in the next episodes of SIDUS Heroes Guides.